You might think selling a high-end property is, just about putting a hefty price tag on it, polishing the floors, maybe hosting a fancy open house.
Yeah, the standard playbook.
Right. But what if we told you that in the world of true luxury real estate, it's actually, well, it's a meticulously crafted narrative, a deep dive into psychological triggers.
And almost like a strategic operation, really, all rolled into one.
Today, we're pulling back the curtain on luxury real estate marketing. We're drawing some pretty profound insights from an expert who's been described as the guy they call when a $5 waterfront home needs to go without the drama.
Mm-hmm. That's quite the reputation.
We're talking about Justin R. Harris and his, let's say, refreshingly unfiltered approach to positioning, presenting, and pushing these high-end listings.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating here, and what we're going to unpack, is how this isn't just about the transaction itself.
Okay.
It's about transformation, not just of the property's perception in the market, but often the seller's mindset, too. Our mission in this deep dive is to uncover those precise strategies, the, subtle mindset shifts, and the core philosophy that turns a listing into a really compelling story, one specifically designed for its perfect match. We'll be exploring his unique brand of candid advice, his detailed 6-step marketing playbook,
Okay.
then a really compelling case study from his own experiences that just perfectly illustrates his methods.
Okay, let's unpack this then. Because many of us, myself included, might initially picture luxury real estate as simply, bigger homes, more extravagant amenities.
Right, like that custom koi fish mural from Bali you mentioned.
Exactly. But our sources quickly reveal a much deeper, almost counterintuitive game being played.
Indeed. And the core belief highlighted really throughout his work is that luxury isn't a price point, it's a presentation.
Okay, presentation, what does that mean exactly?
Well, it really shifts the focus dramatically. You're not just selling square footage or the number of bathrooms or even the fancy appliance brands.
Yeah.
You're selling a lifestyle, a brand, and in many ways, a feeling. Think about it. A property might have incredible features, but if those features don't speak to the aspirations
The dream.
or the emotions of the buyer, they're just expensive details. They don't connect.
And this is where it gets really interesting for me. The sources explicitly state luxury buyers buy emotion, not square footage. That's a powerful shift.
It is.
So what specific challenges does that present for sellers? Because they're typically focused on the tangible things, right? Their beautiful kitchen, the view. How do you guide them away from that?
That really is the crux of it. The biggest challenge is helping sellers detach from their personal connection, their memories, their preferences.
Which is hard.
Very hard. And instead, connect with the buyer's aspirational desires. For instance, as the expert points out, no one's buying your pool. They're buying how that pool makes them feel.
Well, the experience.
The tranquility, the entertainment possibilities, maybe the status, or, if you have this perfectly curated wine room, but the ideal buyer. They drink tequila and want a cigar lounge.
Yeah, okay.
That wine room, as impressive as it is, means nothing to them. It's about framing the property for their lifestyle, not the seller's history with it.
So you're selling the potential of the life they could have there.
Precisely. The potential.
Okay, so if it's all about emotion and fitting a lifestyle and not just the features, how do you even begin to identify who that ideal emotionally driven buyer actually is? Because the sources tell us your buyer isn't who you think.
And that raises an absolutely critical question. If we're not selling to a reflection of the seller, or even just some generic wealthy person,
Right.
who are these distinct luxury buyers? It's definitely not one size fits all. Our material breaks them down into 5 main profiles.
5.
Yeah, each with specific, sometimes subtle motivations and desires that you absolutely have to understand and address directly. Missing this step. That's often why these amazing properties just sit there.
All right, let's dive into these 5 profiles. First up, we have the wealth migrator. Who exactly are they and what are their core drivers?
Okay, the wealth migrator. Think highly strategic buyer. Often they're escaping NYC, Cali, or Chicago taxes.
Ah, the tax angle.
Exactly. Their motivation isn't just a lifestyle upgrade. It's a conscious financial and geographical decision. They're explicitly seeking space, sunshine, and zero state income tax.
Practical reasons, then.
Very practical. They're making a strategic move for wealth optimization, a better quality of life, looking for ROI not just in the property itself, but in their overall financial well-being and freedom. They often want specific things like space, privacy.
Got it. So a calculated move. Next, we have the prestige lifestyler. This sounds like someone who really values appearance, social standing.
You nailed it. For the prestige lifestyler, their home is absolutely an extension of their personal brand and social status. Think yachts, Instagram, custom G-Wagon wraps.
Okay, flashy.
Sometimes, yeah. Their driver is pretty clear. They buy to impress. Their purchases reflect their social standing, their success, often their desire to be seen in a certain light. For them, the neighborhood, the architectural statement, the entertaining spaces, those are paramount.
It's about being part of an exclusive club.
That's a good way to put it.
Okay, what about the global buyer? How do they differ from, say, the wealth migrator we just talked about?
The global buyer often comes with a different set of priorities. Frequently cash buyers. They might be remote through much of the process.
Less hands-on, maybe?
Potentially, yeah. And they prioritize turnkey properties, homes that require minimal fuss, ready for immediate enjoyment or maybe rental. They're looking for ease of transaction, secure asset, and again, often those bragging rights, but ones that resonate internationally, not just locally.
Okay. Like a safe place to park money, perhaps, with perks.
Could be. Or a vacation home, an investment to diversify their portfolio across different countries.
Gotcha. Then there's the family relocator. Their needs seem a bit more traditional, but I guess with that luxury twist we're discussing.
Yes, exactly. For this profile, kids, schools, home offices, and safety first are absolutely paramount.
The practicalities again.
Right, but layered with luxury. While they're still in the luxury market, their core motivation is providing a stable, enriching, secure environment for their family. They want the nice amenities, but they need them to work for family life.
Like what?
Think dedicated homework spaces, big yards, being close to top schools, maybe robust security systems. It's about finding that luxurious environment that also provides stability and caters to those family-centric practicalities.
Makes sense. And finally, this one sounds intriguing. The hidden investor. What's their agenda if it's not just about finding a place to live?
The hidden investor. Yeah, they're often disguised as a buyer, but shopping for yield.
Undercover.
Sort of. They might go through the motions looking like they want a personal residence, but their underlying motivation is the financial return, the investment potential of the property.
Rental income, maybe? Appreciation.
Exactly. Rental income, appreciation, maybe a strategic portfolio addition. The key insight here, as the source really underscores, is that different buyers, different hooks.
So you need different bait.
Precisely. And this isn't about manipulation. It's about intelligent, tailored communication. If you're talking to a wealth migrator about bragging rights, you're completely missing the mark.
Right, they care about the tax savings.
You need to present the financial freedom, the tax benefits. Each listing needs to be precisely tailored to its target audience. You can't just broadcast.
Okay, so once you've identified these distinct buyer profiles, how do you actually execute a strategy? Because our sources lay out this comprehensive 6-step process. Justin Harris describes it as going far beyond sticking a sign in the yard and praying for a buyer. It sounds much more proactive, almost like a military operation.
It truly is, in a sense. This framework is where that smart, tactical, and unfiltered approach really comes alive. He talks about applying Marine Corps discipline to the whole marketing and sales process. Yeah, it's about meticulous planning, reconnaissance before you execute, and then highly adaptable, precise action. It's the total opposite of a passive wait-and-see approach.
Okay, so step 1, as we've kind of established, is strategic buyer profiling. This is the absolute foundation, right?
Correct. It's the essential starting point. It acts as the compass that guides literally every subsequent decision. Without accurately profiling your ideal buyer, you're essentially marketing in the dark.
Flying blind.
Totally. This ensures the property's narrative, the story you tell, genuinely resonates with that buyer, right down to the language you use and the channels you engage.
Okay, step 2, premium pricing strategy. This sounds, well, more complex than just looking at market comps in the neighborhood.
Oh, it absolutely is. Luxury pricing demands a different logic because, as we said, the motivations are different. It involves a really nuanced analysis of the active luxury competition.
Meaning what's on the market now.
Exactly. Not just what sold 6 months ago, but what's currently competing for your specific buyer's attention. Then you assess the unique lifestyle upgrades. A home offers things that don't always show up neatly on a spreadsheet.
Okay.
And understanding appraisal gaps versus emotional value drivers. That means sometimes a property's unique appeal creates value way beyond what a traditional bank appraisal might capture.
Especially if a buyer falls in love.
Especially then. This also requires deep insight into buyer psychology at your price tier. The aim isn't just picking a number, it's building a pricing narrative.
A story about the price?
Sort of, a narrative that shows why your property is worth it and maybe even creates a sense of scarcity around it. You want buyers to feel they're getting a unique opportunity, not just another expensive house.
Got it. Okay, then comes cinematic presentation. This makes me think of like red carpets and movie trailers, but for a house. Is that the idea?
It absolutely should evoke that feeling. The source explicitly says your home deserves to be treated like a feature film because you're selling emotion, right? You need to create that emotion through the presentation. This means producing high-end video walkthroughs with voiceover or music that actually tell a story.
Not just panning shots.
No way. Utilizing drone aerials to showcase unique features the property is setting. Creating virtual twilight photography to highlight ambiance. And engaging in lifestyle storytelling.
Meaning?
Showing the home in use, not just empty rooms. Show someone enjoying that amazing pool, not just a static picture of water. All of this is carefully constructed to trigger emotion and action, making the buyer imagine themselves living that dream.
Okay, that makes sense. Once you have that cinematic presentation perfected, how do you make sure it reaches the right eyes? Because it's definitely more than just slapping it on the MLS, isn't it?
Oh, far, far more.
Which brings us to multi-channel luxury marketing.
Right. This is about launching very targeted campaigns on curated luxury platforms. Think The Real Deal, Mansion Global, James Edition.
Places where high net worth individuals actually look.
Exactly. These aren't just general real estate sites. They cater specifically to that audience and luxury brokers. It also includes things like digital ad campaigns, geofenced to affluent zip codes across the U.S. and abroad.
Geofenced, like drawing a virtual line.
Pretty much. You draw a virtual fence around neighborhoods where your target buyers likely live or work, and your ads get delivered directly to their devices within that zone.
Wow, targeted.
Highly. Plus, impactful Instagram and YouTube reels with strategic hooks, short, punchy content designed to grab attention fast, and crucially, direct outreach to a luxury buyer Rolodex and broker network.
So, leveraging personal connections.
Absolutely. The goal isn't just visibility, it's providing your property with true presence, making sure it shows up everywhere your ideal buyer might be looking.
Okay. And sometimes, for certain properties or situations, a more subtle, almost secret approach is better. That's the private access strategy. Why would you ever choose to keep a luxury property under wraps?
Yeah, this step is employed when needed, and it's all about projecting quiet confidence and maintaining exclusivity.
Okay. How does that work?
It involves things like NDA-required previews, private showings only, maybe off-market exposure, directly to investment groups, relocation executives, high-end buyer agents.
So a very controlled audience.
The strategy increases exclusivity and, really critically, it prevents your property from becoming stale on the open market.
The days on market problem.
Exactly. If a luxury home sits for too long publicly, buyers start to wonder what's wrong with it. A private strategy creates this sense of rare opportunity and preserves the property's allure. It's highly targeted, avoiding the pitfalls of broad exposure.
Got it. Finally, step 6, smart negotiation and closing. How does this phase differ when you're dealing with high-end properties and presumably pretty sophisticated buyers and agents?
The approach here is really to actively shape the offers, not just react to whatever comes in.
Proactive again.
Definitely. This involves pre-qualifying interest before serious showings, making sure anyone viewing the property is genuinely capable and motivated. Saves everyone time. It's about meticulously structuring favorable timelines and terms for you, the seller, not just passively accepting the buyer's first offer.
Setting the terms.
Right. It also means minimizing friction by preparing your documents, disclosures, and legal protections up front. Being organized and ahead of the game prevents delays or surprises later.
Smooths the process.
Exactly. And it's all delivered with this concierge-style service from offer to key handoff, ensuring a smooth, professional, stress-free experience befitting a luxury transaction.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for me because our sources share this compelling story. It vividly illustrates the dramatic impact of this whole tailored strategic approach, like a real-world example.
Yeah, this anecdote really hammers home the moral. Right house, wrong buyer is still a dead deal.
Ouch. But true.
It's not just a clever phrase. It's a critical lesson in efficiency and market intelligence. Think about the wasted time, the effort, the emotional energy spent when an agent is chasing the completely wrong demographic.
Yeah, months go by.
Exactly. This case study perfectly shows how much impact getting this right or wrong can have on market time and the final price.
Okay, tell us about this particular $2.9 million home. It was really struggling to sell, right? What was its initial situation?
Yeah, it was a property that had been just sitting on the market with another agent for 121 days,
Wow, 4 months.
over 4 months, with no serious movement, which in luxury real estate can start to look like a problem. Initially, it was marketed very generically, just a family home in a gated community.
Okay, sounds reasonable.
But if you looked at its actual features, they told a very different story. It had a 6-car garage.
Sex cars.
Yeah, a rooftop deck with an outdoor kitchen. And get this, a movie theater with LED backlit posters of Scarface and The Godfather.
Okay, definitely not your average family setup.
Not at all. It was a total mismatch between the house and the marketing pitch.
So what was the script flip? What changed everything? The moment someone realized this property was being, like, fundamentally misunderstood?
The script flip was recognizing its true identity. It wasn't a family home. It was, as the source puts it, a baller's compound.
Love it.
A place for entertaining, for toys, for making a statement. So the entire marketing strategy was overhauled.
Starting from scratch.
Pretty much. Completely new photos that captured its edgy, sophisticated vibe. A cinematic video with the right music. Think something dramatic, cool, instead of that generic elevator music you often hear.
Right.
And crucially, a targeted campaign aimed squarely at high-income single men in their 30s and 40s.
The actual likely buyer.
Exactly. This was about speaking directly to the person who would appreciate that 6-car garage for their sports cars, or the movie theater for hanging out with friends.
Okay, and the result of this complete pivot, don't leave us hanging.
The result was astonishing, a truly dramatic turnaround. The property sold in 18 days, full ask.
18 days after 121 days of nothing.
18 days. From languishing for 4 months to sold in just over 2 weeks at the full asking price. It just perfectly illustrates the profound difference that understanding and rigorously targeting the true buyer makes.
Wow. It wasn't about changing the house at all.
Not one bit. It was about changing the narrative and finding the right audience.
That's powerful. Okay, so beyond the specific steps and these compelling stories, there's clearly a distinct philosophy guiding this whole process. How would you describe the overall tone and approach revealed in our sources, especially for someone just encountering this expert's ideas?
Well, the expert describes his own content style as smart, tactical, and unfiltered, with a splash of sarcasm and relatable humor.
Unfiltered, huh?
Yeah, he aims for a tone that is, and I'm quoting here, direct but never arrogant, analytical but never boring, funny but never silly, commanding but never condescending, relatable but never generic.
That's a fine line to walk.
It is. The goal seems to be for every piece of content, and really every interaction, to feel like a mix between a TED Talk and a tactical briefing, but with a few laughs and hard truths sprinkled in.
So informative but engaging, cutting through the usual fluff.
Exactly. Getting to what truly works without sugarcoating.
And this really isn't just about selling a house, is it? It feels like it's about a deeper, almost unapologetic understanding of market dynamics, human psychology, and just proactive strategy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It actively pushes past guesswork, past hoping for the best,
Right.
towards a foundation of math, psychology, and negotiation timing. It really challenges those conventional passive approaches, the ones that often boil down to, let's just put it out there and see what happens.
Yeah, the wait and see.
His clear directive is basically, if your last agent told you, let's just see what happens, fire them.
Ooh.
Very. This approach fundamentally emphasizes proactive strategy over just hopeful waiting. It transforms the selling process into a managed, disciplined campaign.
And those phrases you mentioned, they really stick with you. They kind of encapsulate this whole philosophy. Things like, you don't need a sign in the yard, you need strategy. Or, I don't sell houses, I position assets to the right buyers. That's a different mindset.
It really is. And what's fascinating here is how these phrases so succinctly capture that fundamental shift, moving from a purely transactional, often passive mindset
Just facilitating a sale.
to one of strategic positioning and deliberate value creation. It's about elevating the entire process beyond just listing a property to essentially sophisticated asset management. It communicates confidence, precision, and a deep understanding of the market and the buyer.
Okay, so wrapping this up, What does this all mean for you, the listener? Whether you're actually considering a luxury sale or maybe just aiming to be more strategic and effective in your own work, your own endeavors. This deep dive into Justin R. Harris's approach seems to offer some powerful lessons that go way beyond just real estate.
Yeah, it definitely raises an important question for you to consider. Are you truly identifying your ideal buyer or audience in your own context, whatever that context might be, your job, your business, even your personal projects?
Hmm,
And are you positioning your asset, your product, your service, maybe your personal brand, to speak directly to their deepest emotions and lifestyle aspirations? Or are you just, listing its features like on a spec sheet?
that's a great point. We've seen today that selling well, especially in this nuanced luxury market, is this masterful blend of precision, psychology, and strategic storytelling, all delivered with, what was it, Marine Corps level
And
discipline?
that intensity. Ultimately, it's about not just selling a house, but selling the story of what it could be,
Yeah.
but only for the right person.
Finding that perfect match through strategy.
Exactly. So maybe consider this. In what areas of your life or work are you marketing your house like a spreadsheet, focusing only on the facts and figures?
When you should be.
When maybe you should be crafting a compelling storybook tailored precisely for the right audience. The difference, as we've learned today from this case study, can be absolutely monumental.
That's certainly something to mull over. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the world of strategic luxury marketing. We hope you walk away with a fresh perspective and maybe some actionable insights for whatever you're trying to sell.